This video is brought to you by Devout Decals, makers of reusable Catholic art for your home altar, your bedroom, and your home classroom.
A short reflection today from Padre Pio. The recent Padre Pio writings that I've gone over are his letters to his spiritual father, his confessor, and they were published after his passing away. And in the last one, it was unusual for some people because he spoke about how he loved to suffer for Christ. He continues that line of thinking now with an expression that's hard for us to understand, that he believes that Christ wills us to suffer, to unify ourselves with him. This sort of modern anti-gospel we hear so much from Christians of all stripes is that Jesus wants us to be happy in this life. When Christians, until our modern age of decadence really set in, we understood that life was about suffering, that life was characterized by aches and pains and unpleasantness and things, and that our true comfort would come in the hereafter, if we lived our lives in accordance with the gospel, we would get to spend eternity with our Lord in comfort. Now, this comfort people tend to think of as in materialist terms, when in reality it's the beatific vision. It's being in the presence of God, not spending time with our dearly departed pets or whatever, as some people characterize it. That heaven is something so profound we can't even really conceptualize it. But to get there, we have to, of course, embrace the suffering that comes to us in life. And here is Padre Pio expounding on that uncomfortable thought. I want to suffer. This is my longing. May it be given to me to know how to suffer and go in peace to my own defeat, with the abandonment of God, to the just and worthy punishment of my unfaithfulness. I desire my ending only to unite me with indissoluble bonds to the heavenly spouse. I desire life also, so that I can always suffer more, because Jesus has given me to understand that suffering is the only sure test of love. It seems to me that I am always looking for something that I do not find. Neither do I know what this thing is that I continually search for. I love, I suffer little. I want to love this thing that I search for very much more. I want to suffer very much more for this ideal that I am searching for. A very great pleasure fills all my heart. It makes me blessed and happy. I suffer, and I want to suffer without interruption. I feel myself consumed, and want to be consumed without ceasing. You must believe me, my Father, that I can find happiness in these sufferings. Jesus himself wants my sufferings. He needs them for the good of souls. But I ask myself, what relief can I give him with my sufferings? What a destiny! Oh, to what a height the most sweet Jesus has raised my soul! He, God, chooses some souls. From among these, despite all my faults, he has also chosen my soul to help him in the great project of saving humanity. The more these chosen souls suffer without any comfort, the more sufferings of our good Jesus are lightened. Well, that's the reason why I wish to suffer unceasingly, and to suffer without comfort. And from this I derive all my joy. This I can testify to through the long experience I have had of it, provided that one does not cease to cry out to him. When will the Lord desire to remove from you completely the cross he has given to you? I pray for this always. I renew continually the offer made to Jesus for you. What more must I do? You yourself must offer me to Jesus so that he can make you happy. You must not stop yourself in doing it when you think of my weakness. Jesus will help me. Besides, the present sacrifice, which I always renew, I am utterly ready to make hundreds more, even the most painful. I feel in my heart the urgent need to cry out ever more strongly to Jesus with St. Augustine, the Doctor of Grace. Da quod iubes et iube quod vis. Give what you command and command what you will. Therefore, my dear Father, don't let the thought of my suffering place any sort of shadow on your brow or in your eyes that might sadden your heart. Yes, let us not weep, my dearest Father. We should hide our tears from the one who sends them, from he who has shed and who sheds every day, many of his own on account of the ingratitude of humankind. All the ugly specters that the devil is introducing into my mind disappear when, trusting, I abandon myself into the arms of Jesus. Therefore, if I am with Jesus crucified, that is, when I meditate on his troubles, I suffer immediately, but it is a suffering that does me a lot of good. I enjoy a peace and tranquility which cannot be explained. Patience. I suffer, it is true, but I greatly rejoice in my suffering. You yourself have assured me that it does not mean that I am abandoned by God, but it is an expression of how thoughtful his love is. I hope that the Lord will accept my sufferings in satisfaction for the numerous offenses that I have given to him. In short, all my suffering is nothing compared to what I deserve for my sins. My heart overflows with joy, and I feel myself even more capable of meeting any affliction, whatever it is that pleases Jesus. Alas, I feel that sharp pain within my spirit, the thorn that agonizes me in day and night. What bitter pain I experience in my extremities and in my heart. All these pains keep me in a continual swoon, and however sweet the swoon may be, it is equally painful and sharp. In the midst of so much of affliction, both loving and painful at the same time, two conflicting feelings are true. One which wants to reject the suffering, and the other which desires it. And the mere thought of living for a time without this intense and loving martyrdom instills fear in me, it frightens me, it agonizes me. My son, said Jesus, I need victims to calm the just, divine anger of my Father. Renew the sacrifice of your entire self to me, and do it without any reservation. My Father, I renewed the sacrifice of my life to him, and I feel in myself a sense of sadness. It comes from contemplating the God of suffering. If you can, try to find souls that offer themselves to the Lord as victims for sinners. Jesus will help you. Didn't I tell you that Jesus wants me to suffer without any comfort? Didn't he ask me and choose me to be one of his victims? I must journey on, dear Father, to the consummatum est and to the in manus tua. Jesus, his beloved mother, my guardian angel, and others are encouraging me, not neglecting to repeat that anyone who calls himself a victim must lose all their blood. It is sweet and consoling to fight with such a tender Father alongside. Let us always contemplate with the eye of faith, which is our pious and loving angel, Jesus Christ ascending Calvary carrying his cross. And as he conquers the steep slope at great cost, we see him, followed by an immense crowd of souls whose close to him carry their own crosses and follow the same path. Oh, how beautiful this sight is of the immense crowd of souls who close to him carry their own crosses. Let us fix the mind's eye as well on this. We can see our most holy mother right next to Jesus, who she follows in complete perfection, weighed down by her own cross. Then follow the apostles, the martyrs, the doctors of the church, the virgins, the confessors. Oh, how holy, noble, august, worthy, and dear this company is. Oh, in it how joy is sincere, peace profound, the step courageous, the life perfect. Faith animates the company, trust sustains it, charity ignites it, modesty beautifies it, penitence adores it. In this company all consolations are united to all sacrifices, all hope to all virtues. Who will grant us to belong to such a fine company? But long live God. Jesus, despite our unworthiness, has placed us in such a fine company. Let us strive to belong to their ranks and more, and let us hurry to walk the way of Calvary with them. Let us look so to the end of our journey. Let us not leave this fine company. Let us refuse any way that is not the way taken by it. Let us keep our eyes fixed on this noble, august, and holy company that follows Jesus to Golgotha. There is not one of them that does not bear the profession of the true faith on their forehead, renunciation in the heart, and the cross on their shoulders. Let us take courage and follow this adventurous people, in which all consolations are joined to all sacrifices, all hope to all virtues. Long live Jesus who wants me in this way, despite all my unworthiness, to enter into some of his suffering. Oh, how unbearable, my Father, is the pain suffered far from the cross, but how it becomes sweet and bearable if one offers it near the cross of Jesus. All becomes easy for the soul, even though the soul feels itself oppressed and drunk with every sort of suffering. Deep down in its depths, the soul has a holy fear that it might fall and sicken the divine spouse. If it were not for this fear, the soul would feel itself to be in the paradise, so great is the sweetness that this way of suffering brings it. The soul placed in such a state, oh, how many times in its exultation turns to the divine master and says, "Yes, O Jesus, your yoke is truly easy, and your burden truly light." Jesus tells me that in love it is he who delights me in suffering. On the other hand, it is I who delight him. To wish for health would be to go and search for joys for myself, and not try to comfort him. Yes, I love the cross alone. I love it because I see it constantly on Jesus' shoulders. Jesus knows very well that now that all my life, all my heart are dedicated to him and to his sorrows. I do not know what is happening to me. I know one thing only with certainty. The Lord will not break his promises. Do not fear, I will make you suffer, but I will give you strength. Jesus keeps repeating to me, I desire that your heart be purified and proved through a hidden daily martyrdom. Do not be frightened if I allow the devil to torment you, the world to sicken you, and all those persons most dear to you to afflict you, because nothing can defeat those who groan beneath the cross for love of me, and whom I have striven to protect. I personally think these writings that we've gone over of Padre Pio's in the last few months have really shown us how different the thinking of the saints truly is compared to our thinking. Our thinking is very worldly, avoiding discomfort, trying to live the best life that we can, seeking out the material joys of this world. Even if we tend to think we are pretty good about not doing it as much as other people, it turns out that we are just as bad as them, and because of that, we are Pharisees in our own right. And Padre Pio really does show us that his life is about union with Christ and embracing the sufferings that he had in life, really leaning into those sufferings in the effort to become a saint. Was this convicting for you to hear? I'm curious what you have to say, so let me know in the comments, please. And like and subscribe if you haven't. It certainly helps. So does sharing this on social media. That helps too. And I'll bring you more Padre Pio in the future. As always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.